Okay, so we're going to have a quite long lesson, but it's going to be touching base on algebra altogether. So we'll talk about collecting like terms, we'll talk about the part on expanding brackets, we'll talk about the part on substitution, we'll talk about the part on solving equations. So let's start with the part on combining like terms, right? So let's just get to this part really. So if I have a term, an expression like 6y plus 3 plus y like this, you can go ahead and try to solve this, but I'm just going to be explaining them as we'll be going. If I'm supposed to be solving this, I'll first have to group the like terms, like 6y will add y to give us a 7y, then the 3 will come on its own because I cannot add a 3 and a 7y and a 3. Why? Because they are different terms, right? If I am to go next on this one, I'll get 2r adding with 5r to give us a 7r plus 4 plus 20, which gives us a 24. These two cannot add y because they are of different terms. This contains an r and this does not contain an r. The same thing for this, we'll get an 8p plus 16. For this, we'll get a 21t plus a 19, like that, right? I hope there are no questions on this one. Then I want you to go ahead and try to solve these ones on your own. Then you probably send me the solutions based on what you would have found. Make sure that you first group the like terms. If I have AB here, AB is related to 2AB. Then BC is related again to negative BC. Then A is not related to any one of these simply because it's just changing on its own. So just try to solve this and you send me the solution. Then let's go ahead and try to expand brackets now. When we're expanding single brackets, what you're supposed to do basically is, if I have something like 3, open bracket, x plus 2 like this, I gotta have 3 multiplying x, then again 3 multiplying 2. So 3 multiplying x is gonna be giving me 3x. 3 multiplying 2 is gonna be giving me a 6. So at the very end of the day, I'm gonna be having 3x plus 6 as my solution. These two cannot add simply because they are the different terms. The 3 that is just outside of the bracket is supposed to multiply each of the elements inside the bracket, right? So I want you to go ahead and try these ones now. You can pause the video and try to work out these ones. And when you are done, you can check out the answers now. These are the solutions that are going to be coming through after you are done working it out. Just touch base with me if there is something that you did not get correct or that you need explanations on. Then you can also go ahead and try these past examination questions and you can actually send me the solution, then we'll revise on them. Quickly, let's just move on now to talk about the part of expanding double brackets now, right? When I'm expanding double brackets, I will use this acronym like FOIL, where I will say first, outside, inner, then the last. So basically what I have here, if I have x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 2, see that these two terms, x minus 2, are in their own brackets, x plus 5 are in their own bracket. So this x will first multiply this x. The x will go ahead and multiply again the outside feature. So first and first. Then the first one will then go ahead and multiply again the last element, which is minus 2. Then I'll move on to the inside elements. The inside 5 will multiply the first element x. The inside 5 will multiply again the last element, which is a negative 2. So basically what I'm going to be having now is x will multiply x to get an x squared. X will multiply a minus 2 to get a minus 2x. 5, the inside now, the inner value will multiply x to get a 5x. The same 5 will multiply again the outer element to get a minus 10. That's basically what's going to be happening. So basically what we have now is negative 2x can be simplified with 5x, like what we have been seeing in the last statement. They are like terms, yeah? So we have negative 2 plus 5, which is the same as 5 minus 2. And this will reduce down to 3x, which is a positive number. So at the very end of the day, what I have now is x squared plus 3, because this middle expression is just resulted to 3x minus 10 coming through just like that. So this is something that you need to be paying attention to. You can go through over this video one more time, or this part one more time, so that it will be easy for you to be understanding the concepts that are following, trailing after this. Moving on, this is a couple of examples that we have. Go ahead and try to solve this using what we have here. I want you to pause the video and try to work out these questions. There's just 4 of them. After you have obtained your answers, I want you to compare with the ones that I have already obtained and see if you have obtained the same solution altogether. And please touch base with me if there is any one that you did not get correct. Then these are past examination questions that you might need to try. We have y minus 3 multiplying by y minus 10, m plus 2n multiplied by m minus n. Go ahead and try to work these out on your own. Then you send me the solution so that we can see if you are mastering this concept. Let's move on to the next subsection, which is containing the part on substitution. So basically, when you talk about substitution, we are saying that we are replacing a variable. A variable is a letter that is going to be in an algebraic expression. We are replacing it with a numerical value that we would have been given. And what we need to do thereafter now is to find the total value of that expression after we have substituted the value that we need to substitute. Check this out. If I have the value of 3, if I have an expression like 3b plus 4, and we are being told that b is the value of 10, what we need to go and do is to substitute, to remove b and to put a 10. If I have 3b, it means 3 multiplied by b. So if I have b is equal to 10, it now means 3 is supposed to be multiplying 10 to give me a 30. A 30 plus a 4 give me a 34. This is basically what you're talking about. 3b means 3 times b, so it's 3 times 10, give me a 30. A 30 will then add the 4 to give me a 34 at the end of the day. So 34 will be my final solution after simplifying this. So suppose I'm given this value is, these expressions with the value of a is 4, if b is 7, and c is 9. I want you to go ahead and try to solve these on your own. Take note, if I'm being given c squared, it means c times c. A squared means a times a. AB means a times b, and so forth. So I want you to go and try to solve these now using these expressions, these values that you're given here, and you compare them with the answers that I would have obtained, like this. So if you have failed any one of them, please go ahead and reach out to me and tell me again where I might need to assist you with. Right? Then check this out. This is now an application kind of thing, where we have the triangle with the height and the base. The area of finding this, the formula of finding the area of this triangle is to say half of the base times the height. So it's half BA, half of BH, half of B times the H, which is the height. So I want you to try to find the area of the triangle, given that the base is 5 and H is the and 17 is the height, 10.5 is the base, and 12 is the height. Feel free to actually use the calculator for this. Then you can compare that with these answers that I have obtained. Then let's now move on to the topic number 5, which involves solving equations basically. So when we are finding the value of x based on this, what we need to do first is to group the like terms. The value of, we have 6x being 6x minus 4 being said to be equal to 6. What I need to do here is to take negative 4 to place it this side. And as we place the value of negative 4 the other side, it now becomes a positive 4. You get it? So I'm saying the value of negative 4, if I take it the other side, it's going to be a positive 4, leaving me with a 6x plus a 30. So with a 6x being equal to 30, I will divide this by 6 and this by 6 again to leave with the value of x here. So at the very end of the day, after dividing both sides by x, I will actually go ahead and have x having the value of 5. Take your time on this equation. Take your time on solving this equation, because this will form the basis of our linear equations, right? Why? Because we are saying that we are only going to be finding the value of a single x. Our highest power of x is to the power of 1. Basically, you might not need to worry about the last statements. But if I have an equation like this, first of all, I rearrange so that x is, all the terms that are containing x are alone on one side. Then I go ahead and divide both sides by the number before the unknown. So x is my unknown. I will divide this by 6, this also by 6 to get my value of x as 5. So with the same notion, I want you to go ahead and try to simplify these equations where I have y minus 9 is equals to 30. Give me the value of y. And after you do that, you can compare with my solutions that I have obtained here. Please pause the video always whenever I ask you to do something. Then you will then compare your solutions with the ones that I would have obtained. Right? Let's have something like this now, where we have our value of x coming, our equation involving fractions now. So try to solve these on your own. And remember that whenever I say x divided by 5, x is the same, x over 5 is just the same as x divided by 5. So in this situation now, you might need to clear the fraction first. So clearing the fraction, you multiply both sides by 5. You multiply this by 5, this again by 5. So that this 5 will cancel with the 5 that you have used to multiply this side, leaving you with x being equal to 30. You can go ahead and compare with the answers that I have obtained. And please feel free again to reach out to me if there is any one that you did not get correct. Again, there's the same thing. I want you to go and try these equations now. First of all, you group the like terms. Before anything else, group the like terms. Before anything else, group the like terms. So on this number 2, you group the like terms by leaving x over 2 this side, then plus 4 going the other side to become negative 4. That's 12 minus 4 gives you an 8. So x over 2 is equal to 8. Then you simplify it like that. Pretty simple. So before anything else, follow the rules that we have spoken of in this part of the video. That you first rearrange x values going on their own side. Then you divide by the unknown. You are dividing y because 6 is multiplying x. That's why you are dividing. If 6 was dividing x, you were supposed to be multiplying. Basically, you just do the opposite of what is happening here. Like the opposite of negative 4 was positive 4. The opposite of 6 times 4 is, of 6 times x is dividing by 6. Basically. So when you are now on this part of the equation now, of this part of the exercise now, you are seeing that the opposite of dividing with 3 is multiplying by 3. You only do the part of multiplying or dividing after you have solved everything else and divided and made sure that you're collecting the like terms. Yeah? So you can compare with my solutions here and see if you have failed anything. That probably marks up the end of the algebra topic, the one that is involving basic collecting like terms and simplifying, substitution, then the part of inequations as well. The next thing that you're going to be talking about is making the subject of the formula, and we'll talk about that in the next lesson. Yeah.